And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is an in-depth character review of Fives. CT 555 5. All right. I do want to give a quick shout out to Battlefront Heroes 145. That's a team that plays Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my videos, and just a shout out to you guys. Keep your gaming on as always. Now, let's go ahead and go through Fives. I'm going to try and make this a little bit quicker than some of my other reviews, so we're going to fly through this. I do have him max level 80, max gear, and 7 stars, so he's going to be a pretty fun review because he's pretty maxed out. And as far as the gearing, while I'm on it, he only needs 2 raid gear parts. That is below average. That's awesome. The average person needs 3, and there's many characters that need 4, 5, or 6. So 2 raid gear, not a bad deal at all. The average purple is around 600, 650. He's at only 765. So he's a little north of average for the purples, but the good news is the actual raid pieces that you put on cost credits to apply to him, and they're only around 350,000 credits to apply, which is below average, so he's not going to cost as much to gear up when you actually have the gear to put on him. So where do we find this hunk of a man? Well, you can you can farm him traditionally from dark side or light side, but that's a pretty stiff grind. You can find him in Cantina battles. Now, in the Cantina battles, you're going to notice this is the same place you get Qui-Gon Jinn. So I'm going to recommend you get Qui-Gon Jinn first, and then after that, if you want Fives, he's right here. I would highly recommend getting him from here. You're going to get 400 for 400. You're going to get 5 at a time, so 5 at a pop. And this Cantina credit is about the second easiest kind of currency in the game to get, so you should have no problem farming him up non-stop. Now let's go ahead and go back to Fives. So that's where you find Fives. Let's go ahead and go through his attacks and abilities first before we go to all of his modding and his stats. So his basic is BA, man. This is awesome. It's called Dual DC 17 Blasters, and it deals physical damage to an enemy and inflicts speed down for not 1 but 2 turns. So they go 25% slower 2 turns in a row. Now, why this is important, why the second turn is important, is the next time he shoots them, that particular character, he's going to get a shoot twice if they have that speed down over their head. So he puts red over their head, he debuffs them, and then the next time he hits them, he gets to hit them double. And, you know, his base stat damage is average at 2200, but even if he doesn't crit, once they have red over their head, once they got that speed down, he's going to hit them twice for at least 4,400, if not more, which instantly makes his damage twice as much, obviously. But if he's critting, and I've seen some really awesome crit shots where he did 7,500 and then hit for 7,500 again. I just did it earlier where he did 7,500 and then 5,100, and so he can hit for quite a bit. So that's one strategy, by the way, of modding him, is getting crit chance and crit damage, just like any other character. The more damage they do, or the more critical chance and damage they have, the more damage they're going to do. And with him, he's fun. He has a counter ability we'll talk about. So you might want to have fun and play with that. Me personally, he is a tank, and so I did choose to make him a little beefier or tankier, so that way he can sit in the fight for a little bit longer. But this basic is absolutely awesome. I did Omega it, which the Omega-ing it gives you that second attack if they have speed down. Combined Fire is awesome. This is another assist call. Many characters in the game have an assist call, such as Harmonious Assault with Qui-Gon Jinn, or Geonosian Soldier's assist that he calls in. This one has a cooldown of 3, not bad, but he gets to deal physical damage to an enemy and call another ally to assist. If that assisting ally happens to be a clone, both attackers will deal up to 75% more damage. 75%, of course, if I Omega it, which I have not yet done. I do not have my clone team up and running yet. I actually have all 5 clones, and I have them all 7 stars, level 80, but I do not have half of them geared up at all, or their abilities and attacks up yet. So a clone video will be coming someday, but not anytime in the very, very near future. But if he happened to have another clone, such as Rex, who is amazing, he's going to do 75% more damage, and so would Rex. So he's going to have great synergy with other clones. But even if he has no synergy with the characters on the team, in the sense of them being the same category type, he still is going to call an assist, and they're both going to hit. Now, his combined fire has a base stat damage of around 4,500, which is more than double his base damage. And if that crits, which he has a critical chance on, it can be 8,000 or 9,000 on that. So pretty amazing just on his combined fire opportunity. You'll see he'll probably hit for 7K a couple of times at least with this attack just for his hit, which isn't bad for a tank. Now remember, he's a tank, so we got to kind of cut him some slack for not hitting very hard. Now, he is a leader, or he does have a leader capability. Not all characters do, but his leadership ability, this, once it's maxed out, actually goes to clone allies have 65 defense, and other allies gain half that amount. 65 defense is not bad. When you divide that in half, that's about 32 and a half. For everybody, and that's great for non-clones. 32 and a half defense, and then of course 65 defense for other clones. On a clone team, that would be pretty insane. And with the whole PvP tournaments coming up in the near future, defense leaders like this, leaders that have a defense that's added to the whole team, such as, you know, Chewbacca or him, might end up turning into the leaders, because those defensive teams, the leadership, it's not about the offense damage they're doing, it's about how long they can stay in the fight and protect. So keep your eyes out for some really cool, and look at leadership abilities in a new light, because with these, the fact that you're going to build two teams now, a defensive team and an offensive team, your defensive team will now need to be structurally completely different. It will probably consist of 5 tanks, and of those tanks, you'll probably find one that has a very good leadership ability that adds defense across the board, such as 5s. So, you know, who knows, maybe in the new meta with the PvP tournaments, someone like 5s could end up being a leader that's favored. Who the heck knows? We'll find out as that time goes by. But I don't currently have it very high, because currently we haven't had that aspect of the game yet, and so I have not decided to get that up. His tactical awareness is what makes him the man, because 5s has an 85% counter chance. The only other character that has a higher counter chance base is Count Dooku at 100%. He's at 85%, which goes off almost 100% of the time, and he does 50% more counter damage. Now that is awesome, because his base damage is now given 50% more, which means his base damage is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of about 3,300 without it being a critical, and around 6,600 on the crit. And if he already has speed down, the other character, he's going to do 6,600 or more with his shooting, and if he hits them twice, because they already have speed down, and he crits both times, it could be a 12,000 hit. That is absolutely crazy for a tank. When we're talking about tanks, you know, they just don't do that much damage. Him and Sunfac probably do the most damage of any tanks out there, so I would highly recommend getting 5s and making him a higher priority. Now, again, he is a galaxy rating of 4, which means there are a few other characters, such as Qui-Gon Jinn, who would come higher priority over him. But he is one of my personal faves. So the tactical awareness mixed with his dual DC blasters just makes for a terrible, terrible fight when you're against him, because every time you hit him, you got to kill him, right? So every time you hit him, he counters and he puts speed down on you. Then your next character hits him and he counters and he speeds down that character. So your whole team ends up having speed down, and he's hitting you twice every single turn. So he gets 2 shots for every one of your shots, and he counters pretty much every time. Plus he gets his turn, and on his turn, he'll get to shoot a couple times because you already have speed down. It's absolutely nuts. We'll get to see it play out. I'll play it in the arena. I'll also go and play it on a light side battle just to have some fun. Now, let's go ahead and see how I modded him. I had a lot of health mods, so I went ahead and went with health mods. But again, you could have fun and go critical chance, critical damage as your 2 mod sets. Really make him a powerful puncher. I've seen him hit for way more than I have him hitting for. So you could have some fun with this, but I currently went with health because that's what I had a lot of. So on the top left, the transmitter, of course, the primary stat's always offense. The secondary stat gave him some extra speed and gave him almost 2,000 extra protection and some potency. Now, potency is critical for him because he's trying to apply speed down, which is a negative status effect. So I always look for my secondary stats on him to have potency if possible. The next slot, the processor, of course, the primary stat will always be defense. For secondary stats, again, look at that protection, another 677 and 1.81. The bottom left is always going to be a data bus with a primary stat of protection, and again, or health, but there's a number of things you can put in here, but I suggest health or protection, and because he's a tank, I did protection. It's a much better bang for your buck. It gives him some additional speed, and look at that again, another 518 protection, some defense, and then some percentage defense. And then on the top right, I actually gave him accuracy because I do want him. There's a lot of evasion teams on my server. You'll probably see that when we go and play, that there's a lot of Obi-Wan leads, which gets super frustrating. This is going to help kind of prevent the dodging that happens because I do want him to hit and give that speed down to the characters on the other side. He gets a little bit of tenacity superficially here, which isn't a big deal. In the middle of the hollow array on the right side, I did go have fun and go ahead and do critical damage here. Now, I could have put protection in this slot because he's a tank, and that would have been beastly. I would have added another, 5,000 or 6,000, and he'd be over 70,000 on health and protection, which is just stupid for a tank to be over 70k. But I went ahead and did critical damage because if and when he crits, I do want it to be painful for the other team when they get hit for 7,000 or 8,000. It's pretty fun. He also has given some more superficial tenacity as a secondary stat on this, and then he's got protection ×2. He's got it on the percentage and just the overall 588 addition. On the bottom right multiplexer, I did do potency. I traditionally tell you to do tenacity or potency, and for him, of course, potency. He's trying to apply speed down. You definitely want that. Of course, it does give him another 1,200 in protection as a secondary stat, some more superficial tenacity, and some speed, plus some health. So overall, that's how I did his mods. They're looking pretty good. I am using just health mods. Of course, it would be a little more fun to have some critical chance, critical damage, just to play with him and see, how high he can go, because he is fun to hit with. Now we'll go down here. I like this section better for his stats, just because you can see his base stats and his mods additions in one screen. Now, of course, he's known as a tank, so his strength is going to be what's highest, and it's extremely high at 1159. The rest is about average. His health and protection, after I've boosted it, a little about 1,500 or 15,000, is around 65k. 65,000 is not bad for a tank. That's pretty decent. His speed does not need to be high, and this is why. He's a counter tank. There's no rush in the game. He's a counter specialist. He's going to get his turn eventually, and he's not worried about it, and so neither should you. He's going to hammer everybody and give them speed down as they hit him. If they're idiots enough to hit him, he's going to give them speed down and hit him back. So speed is less important on him, but he does have 115 base speed, and when you get some superficial speed additions, you can get him up there. I have done no focusing on speed, and I've already got him to 128. His critical damage, of course, is 186% when he crits, and he's got a potency of over 40%. That's not really that high, honestly, for someone that's applying negative status effects. I would like his potency to be at or above 60%. His tenacity superficially got raised to about 37, almost 38%, which is not horrible, but it's really not something I focus on with him. Health steal's cool. It's pretty decent. It's at 15%, so every time he hits, he's going to be healing. And of course, he hits a lot. Not for a lot, but he hits a lot because of his counter chance. And so he's going to gain a 15% of everything he's doing to the opponents. Again, his physical base damage is 2,200, and that is about average for the characters. And his critical chance is pretty low. It's only at 25% here as far as whether he's going to have a chance of the critical. So you could definitely have fun and raise that up significantly. I did put an accuracy mod on him, so he's got the 12% accuracy, which will eliminate the dodge capability, which is, kind of like that evasion. So the accuracy mod's great for that. He is the second highest armored character in the entire game. Obi-Wan surprisingly has the highest armor rate of everyone. Now we know Obi-Wan's a tank, or we should know that, but Obi-Wan does have the highest armor, and that's pretty cool because that reduces the damage that's taken from abilities that use physical damage, which most of your basics out there do physical damage. And as a tank, he's in 5th place for overall health and in 5th place for overall protection. So he's in the top 5 for tanks for sure in health and protection, and the second highest armor, which means he's going to reduce the highest amount of damage coming his way from physical damage. So that is pretty cool as well. His special damage is nothing to write home about, but he does have some special accuracy, which is good. And then he's got some resistance, which reduces that damage taken from special damage as well. So if they're using a special ability, it's going to reduce that as well. So that is his stats. Those are his abilities. That's how I would mod him. Let's go ahead and take him for a test drive. First place we'll do is the squad arena. Let's go against an Obi-Wan team. Looks like the number 2 team is a 41,000 Obi-Wan team lead. So yeah, let's do that one. And I'm going to just take out Sunfac, and we're going to put him in. Now I'm not going to be in any rush in this fight. I just want to show you his ability. So let's go ahead and get the taunt up. Go ahead and Lando them. And let's get rid of Rey just to make sure she doesn't take anyone out. Man, Biggs, I tell you, that is a Biggs special. Now he taunted, we'll go ahead and do this. Now they're not Empire characters, so it doesn't do as much damage on them for that, but it does do a lot of damage because they're greater than 50% health, which is another part of that Red Squadron Strike. Let's do his assist. Now he's going to do around 4,000 base, and if he crits, he can do almost 8,000. So he did his 26, which is weird because it should be 4,400. We don't have my Sunfac, so I can't actually detaunt him. That's why I use my Sunfac. And we'll just get rid of this tank. Oh, I didn't get a call in my Wedge because he was stunned. That's a shame. Wedge hits for a lot too. Let's see if we get speed down. There we go, speed down. Now the next time he hits Stormtrooper Han, he's going to get to shoot twice. And we'll just take that tank out. There we go. And there's the evasion kicking in. Oh, let's go back here. He'll get to shoot twice because he's got speed down already. So here we go. Whap, whap. Now, of course, tanks reduce the amount of damage. Huey just hit for 6,400, so that's not horrible. 6,400 isn't bad at all. I know that the opponent's armor and stuff is going to be maxed out on this level versus the some of the other like light side battles that we'll do. And we'll just put this on auto battle. Because as Assassin Master on YouTube says, I ain't got time for this. By the way, he's got kind of a funny channel. I watched him early on when he first started, and it's pretty fun watching all the other YouTubers out there. I would suggest supporting all of them who do videos you enjoy. So you got to see him in the arena. He's pretty fun there, but I do want... Let's see, what is this? Oh, my daily stuff. Let's go ahead and collect that. This is where you get your Omega material. I spend it as fast as I get it. I know I probably shouldn't. I should probably strategize on where it's going and save it up. But so let's go ahead and go light side battles. Now I want to challenge myself. I very well may lose, but I don't really care. I'm just trying to have some fun here today. Let's go ahead and go in a battle. And I'm going to put Fives as the leader. And I just want to take in, well, I have to take someone in. So I just want to take in like a healer. And then we'll take everybody else out. So it's just him against the world. And of course I have to take the healer in, but she'll be there just in case things get hairy, or maybe she'll die early, who knows. But this is the highest level, level 8, light side battle, hard side, highest level. So let's see how we do. He counters for 7,800. There you go. That's a good representation. Let's see what he does with his hit. 4,500 on his base hit like he should. And they'll hit him. He'll counter. Pow! 4,100 as a basic. Pow! 7,400 on a crit. See, that's pretty cool. He crit. I'm going to save that guy for 5,000. That was pretty good too. Like I said, he's hitting for quite a bit, and I don't even have his critical chance up higher than 25%. Let's put some speed down. Let's get him to counter these guys. Wow. Got him. Put speed down and he went stealth, but he still got countered. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and take this guy out in the back. 43 base, so no crit. Counter, 4,000. Let's take him out. Let's get a counter out of this for sure. Bam! Countered even though he was sped up, so he got to shoot twice. Second shot, 5,300. Not bad at all. I'm telling you, you can get him to hit pretty decently, and when he's shooting, you know, a couple of times a turn, it's pretty intense. We're gonna not focus on the other characters because he's gonna counter them and kill them subsequently with his countering. So let's go ahead and try and hit Dooku, and that happens. We'll see. He'll counter, speed down. Counter, did not apply speed down. And I very well might lose this one. I was hoping, well, he got speed down. And he gets to shoot twice, and he hit 5,000. Looks like we're going to lose. I thought that might happen, but I wanted a challenge. I wanted to test him against them. We'll step down and do one more quick battle. Since that one was just a little bit too hard, let's just go down to this battle right here. And we'll do one more for fun. Let's take in a healer. There we go. All right. He does resist pretty decently, and his tenacity is only around 40% right now. 5,000. Again, he's a tank. We're not looking at that. He's not like an attacker, you know. But there's 7,400 on his crit for his special ability. Again, I know a lot of people are screaming, I want to see him do his abilities. So here you go. That was almost 8,000 on a counter. And he's countering, I mean, a lot. You can see he just does not like getting hit, which makes him extremely fun. About 4,000 on each of these, and he's putting speed down over their heads. There we go. Boom. And he gets to shoot twice because they already had speed down the first time. He'll get to shoot twice, and that should finish him off. Oh, almost. I think we'll have better luck on this level. Speed down. Counter. Boom. 7,600 almost. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. Ooh, almost. Of course, 4 tanks. That's all right. He'll get a lot of counters in. Boom, speed down. Yeah, 6,400, and he gets the counter. Boom, 7,400. Got to shoot twice. That was over 5K between the two shots. So you can see how much fun I've gone against him before in the arena. There's 5. There's almost another 5. So that's almost 10,000 right there. Once, twice. Super fun. He just makes for an easy victory most of the time when you have him. So if you don't have him, I would definitely recommend farming him. And that's all she wrote. All right, so what is your favorite ability for 5s, and how do you have him modded? Do you have him modded with critical chance, or do you have him tanked out? And if you have him tanked out, what's the highest health and protection you've seen or that you've completed? I would love to hear about it in the comment section down below. As always, enjoy all of my videos by going through and checking all of my previous videos out. I have an awesome mod video. I also have many other videos, in-depth character reviews, and so I get a lot of comments like, oh, could you do a character X, Y, or Z? Go and check and see if I already have those characters, because more than likely I've done a review on a dozen already, and I'm going to be doing more. So just check it out, see what the videos are, see which ones that you haven't seen. There's tons of good videos, how-to videos, arena battles, things like that. So as always, have a wonderful afternoon. Keep your gaming on. Warrior out.